Beneath this water, Turkey built a railway between continents.
Istanbul has always been a city split by water.
Across the strait, another continent waits only minutes away. For generations, the city crossed by ferry, bridge, and patience. Modern Istanbul needed more than bridges above the waves.
The dream of an underwater railway began long before modern machines.
The idea existed, but the tools were not ready.
Then the old dream became a construction schedule.
The route had to pass under water, history, and stone. The Bosphorus is narrow, busy, deep, and unforgiving. Construction had to happen beneath one of the world's busiest waterways. Before the tunnel arrived, engineers carved a trench in the seabed. The ground below had to be stabilized before anything could rest there.
The undersea tunnel began as giant pieces built on land.
Each section needed strength, watertight seals, and extraordinary precision. To sink safely, the tunnel first had to float. A railway tunnel became a floating vessel. Tugboats carried the future crossing toward the Bosphorus. Now the floating giant had to meet an invisible target. Lowering each section was a slow act of engineering trust. One mistake could misalign the entire crossing. Each section had to connect as if poured in one piece. The seals became the tunnel's first defense against the sea. Once aligned, the tunnel was buried for protection.
Inside, a dry railway corridor slowly appeared beneath the sea.
On land, tunnel boring machines carved the connecting routes.
The machines chewed forward, meter by meter, beneath the city. Behind the cutter, concrete rings held the new void open. The hardest joint was where different tunnel worlds met. But water was not the only danger below Istanbul. The region's seismic risk shaped almost every hidden detail. A strong tunnel also has to know how to move. Engineers improved the ground before trusting it with the tunnel.
Sensors helped the tunnel listen for movement beneath the city. Every hidden corridor was designed with evacuation and control in mind.
Then the project found something no machine could ignore. Beneath the station site lay the forgotten harbor of Constantinople. The mud preserved ships that had slept for centuries.
progress slowed because history had to be rescued first.
The tunnel uncovered a city far older than expected. Marmaray became a project through engineering and memory.
After discovery came delay, and after delay came work.
The empty concrete passage began to become a railway. Steel and concrete were only the beginning. A tunnel for trains also needs air, light, and control.
Deep stations turned the hidden tunnel into a public system.
Before passengers, the tunnel had to prove itself in silence.
Every vibration, signal, and system had to be checked.
In 2013, the undersea crossing finally opened.
Passengers crossed continents without seeing the water above them.
The sea crossing became an ordinary part of a daily commute.
Marmaray was more than a tunnel. It was a corridor. Old suburban lines were rebuilt to feed the crossing.
Dozens of stations turned one tunnel into a metropolitan spine.
Great infrastructure succeeds when people stop noticing the miracle. Inside the carriage, the impossible feels completely ordinary. Above the roof, ships and seawater still press down. The tunnel survives by resisting pressure from every direction.
Waterproofing is not a detail here, it is survival.
Redundant systems wait quietly for problems that may never come. The tunnel is finished, but its care never ends.
A hidden control room keeps the railway moving. The system depends on timing as much as concrete.
The crossing also changed how goods could move between regions. A local tunnel became part of a continental railway idea. But its greatest impact is still felt in Istanbul.
The tunnel compressed distance, routine, and time.
Every train below can ease pressure above. Electric rail offers a quieter way to move a megacity.
The reported cost reflected a project of enormous complexity. This was not just a hole under the sea. Marmaray was many projects forced to succeed together. Its builders had to respect both physics and the past.
The city above could not simply stop. Beneath Istanbul, the tunnel had to thread through existing systems.
The stations were engineering projects as demanding as the tunnel. Every deep excavation risked uncovering another century.
The shipwrecks needed preservation as carefully as the tunnel needed sealing. One project connected continents and centuries.
Today, the railway moves with quiet confidence.
Bored tunnels meet an immersed tube beneath the Bosphorus. At its deepest, the crossing sits far below the surface.
The undersea section demanded a different kind of tunnel.
Mega projects are built from small tolerances.
Beside the tunnel elements, people looked impossibly small.
The heaviest moments often looked strangely calm.
Wind, current, and visibility could decide the schedule.
Some of the most delicate work happened under artificial light. When the final gap closed, two continents were joined underground. A continuous line of steel now crossed beneath the sea. From the cab, the crossing feels like entering another world.
The passengers feel calm because the engineering is not.
Above, ferries still cross. Below, trains erase the distance.
Istanbul has never been one crossing, but many. The better it works, the less people think about it.
Its legacy lies in movement, discovery, and resilience.
The tunnel will keep shaping how Istanbul grows.
The hardest projects succeed by respecting what lies below. Two continents remain separate, yet connected by a hidden line.
Beneath the waves, engineering turned distance into connection.